Now, today we will see different types of recommendation system. So, main approach we are used in recommendation systems are user-based recommendation system and the item-based recommendation system. So, as we know, in a collaborative filtering, the collaborative filtering is a method to find the subset of users who have similar taste and the preference to the target user, and use this subset for offering the recommendations. So in this recommendation, we are finding out the users, they have some similarity. So based on their similarity and the preferences, we are making a group of users and then we offer them a recommendation. So for example, the similarity means gender. On the basis of gender, you can say that we are making a similar group of people, boys or girls, different. Or based on the birth date, since if the people having the birthday on January, so we are clubbing all those users whose birthday in January in one group. So based on these different categories, we are making the similarity and their preferences about the product and make them a collaborative filtering. So user with a similar interest have a common preference and sufficient large number of user preference are available. So here we will see the two approaches we are using in a recommendation system. The first one is called as user based and the second is called as item based. So how to find out the user based recommendation system? So in user based, we are finding out the user item matrix. First, there is a one matrix we are considering called as a user item rating matrix. So each user has to give some rating to the item. For example, user A, B and the A, B, C are the items, and there are the users, say that user 1, user 2 and user 3. So there are the 3 users and the 3 items A, B, C. So user 1 giving the rating or showing the interest in the item A and the item B. User 2 showing the interest or rating to the item C only, and user 3 showing the interest in item A, item B and the item C. So now we have to find out the correlation between the two users. So in the next step, what we have to find out, we have to find out the user-to-user correlation. In the first step, we have to find out the user item rating matrix. So first, we have to define the matrix, and this is a user item rating matrix. So this user item matrix, we are considering like this: user 1 are giving the preference or like to the user A and user B, item A and item B. Then user 2 showing the interest in the item C, and user 3 showing the item interest in the item A, B, C. So the second task is find out the correlation between the user 1, 2, 3. So how we have to find out? So find highly correlated users. So which users are highly correlated with each other, we have to find out in the third step. And the last step, we are giving the recommendation of that item preferred by those users. So how to find out the person's correlation? So to find out the person's correlation, there is a one formula we are defined here. User similarity U in the n number of users. So this n is indicating the number of users. So here in my data set I have the 3 users and u is representing the particular user. So let us consider the first user. Out of these 3 users, you have to find out the similarity. So the formula to find out the user similarity of un in the n is summation of I belonging to r of un, r of ui, that is the rating of user I, minus rating of all users into rating of ni minus rating of n users divided by summation of I of rating un into rating of ui minus r of u whole square into under root summation of I belonging to ru into rni minus rn. So using this, we are finding out the similarity between these 3 users. So let us consider, using this example, we are finding out the user 1 and the user 3 are highly correlated. So the correlation between the user 1 and the user 3, we can say that they are highly correlated. Now, what you have to give the prediction? So the prediction function of ui, that is user of I, is equal to ru bar plus means the rating of all users plus summation of n belonging to the neighbors users in function we already find out into rni minus rn bar divided by summation of n neighbors of all users similar is u and n. So here we already find out this value, that is a user similarity. It is nothing but this one and this one already find out. So this value we have put it from this formula and you can solve the prediction of the users. So this is a formula to find out the user-based collaborative. Now the next, what are the advantages of user-based collaborative? So in user-based collaborative filtering, the advantage is no knowledge about the item featuring. So here, if you don't know you don't have any information about the items, it is allowed in user-based collaborative. Because this user-based collaborative filtering is totally based on the users, not item. But it has some problem that a new user cold start problem. What is this cold start problem? The cold start problem starts when the user first time logging to the system and you don't have any historical information about the user. So in that condition, you are facing a cold start problem. So in user-based collaborative filtering, you must have some information about the user and based on the user's information, you can give some correlation between the user. But if you don't have any information about the new user, so on which basis you are giving the correlation? So that is one of the problems we are faced when the new user is entered into your system, and that is called as a cold start problem. The another problem we are facing in user-based collaborative testing is a new item cold start problem. The item with a few rating cannot be easily recommended. So if the item having very few ratings, so that item will not be recommended in the system. So this is one of the problem with the item, because item don't have the sufficient rating. So if the item don't have the sufficient rating, in that case also we are facing. Then the another problem we are faced in user-based collaborative filtering is sparsity problem. So what is this sparsity problem? If there are many items to be recommended, a user matrix is sparse and it's hard to find out the user who have rated the same item. So this problem we are facing in a sparsity problem. There are many items to be recommended by the user, and the user matrix is sparse, and it's hard to find the user who have rated the same item. So if the item having the same rating, so in that case we are facing the sparsity. What is the sparsity? The sparsity problem occurs when transactional or feedback data is sparse and insufficient for identifying the neighbor, and it is a major issue limited the quality of recommendation and the applicability of collaborative filtering. So this collaborative filtering, user-based collaborative filtering, is adopted by the Ringo and the Group Lens company. So these are the websites are used on the based on the user-based collaborative filtering. The second type of collaborative filtering is called as an item-based collaborative filtering. So in previous one we have seen the user-based. So in that the user is most important, and in the item-based collaborative filtering, item is important. Here the first step is again same, that is a user item matrix. So you have to find out the user item rating. The first condition here, we have to use the user item rating matrix. The second step is make the item to item correlation. We are not making the here user to user, here we are making the item to item correlation. So correlation between the two items. For example, if you are purchasing the laptop, so with the laptop what you have to purchase, or if you want to purchase a mobile, so with the mobile what you have to purchase, for example, mobile screen guard, mobile charger, mobile stand, etc., etc. So they are correlated. If you are purchasing the mobile, so you usually purchase the mobile screen, mobile stand, and etc. So they are how they find out that the correlation. So that is called as a item to item correlation. Find the item that are highly correlated. So in which we are finding out the item that is highly correlated, and recommend the item with the highest correlation. and finally we recommend the item that is highly. So here we are making the similarity matrix. So the same before we have seen that in a user-based collaborative filtering, the same formula we are using here. But here, instead of user, we are focusing on the item similarity. So the item similarity ij means there is a two items I and the j. So what is the correlation between the item I and the item j? So how we can find out? So the item similarity of ij is equal to summation of user RB of ij, rate based item I and j, R of user I minus all rating given by the user, that is RU bar, into rating of user j minus all the rating given by the user U bar, divided by under root summation of user rating base ij into rating of ui minus all rating given by the user u bar whole square into under root summation of user rating rating base ij into r of uj minus ru whole square. So using this similarity matrix or using this item similarity of I and j, we have to find out the highest correlated item. So once you find out the item correlation, the next task is to find out the prediction. So what is the prediction we have to provide? So which item shall be give the prediction? So how we can find out the prediction of user I? User U is indicating the user and I is indicating the item. So for the user U, which item you have to predict? So how you can find out that for the user U, which item you have to predict? It is a summation of j rated items U, means user U item rated, into item similarity of ij into rating of ui, divided by j of rated item U item similarity of ij. So using this, we are giving the prediction to which item you have to predict, give the prediction to the user U. So from this figure, you can see that there are again the three user 1, 2, 3, and there are the three items A, B, C. So user item A and C are highly correlated using the formula item similarity, but we are give the prediction for the user I that you have to purchase the item C when you are purchasing the item A. And how we are giving that? So we are giving the prediction based on the user's rating. So these are the two types of recommendation system, that is the item based collaborative filtering and the user based collaborative filtering.